welcome to another episode of Pakistani Profile. My guest for today is the head of organizational strategy at KASB Securities. He also maintains his blog by the name of Inside Sumair's Mind, where his focus basically is on providing ideas and sharing them that are worth spreading. Let's welcome him on our program. Hi, Sumair.
Hi.
Good to have you on our show.
Good to be here.
Right, Sumair, so talking about your educational background first, and then we'll eventually go forward to your career.
Okay.
Give me some information about your education, your childhood, and what had you learned that made you where you are right now.
Wow.
All of it.
All of it. No, I'll give it a try. Education, as a child, very good childhood. Parents were always loving, they still are.
Right.
Very protective childhood, as most Pakistani families do this, do not do that. So we went through that. Lots of love. And very similar to what other children go through in Pakistan, that when you grow up, you have to be either an engineer or a doctor.
Yeah.
So very limited avenues to explore. Having said that, that's what I did then. I studied mechanical engineering at University of Oklahoma. Didn't want to do engineering, but then again I was very lost as to what I should do. So I said, okay, if I'm not sure what I want to do, might as well study this. So I did mechanical engineering, which is very tough, but I did it somehow. Came back to Pakistan, and then my first job was for a pharmaceutical company. Engineering job. And I think that is the time when I realized that this is not for me. Although it was a great experience, but being in a factory, the scope was very limited. It was just these four walls, you're in the factory, working on production lines. So I realized that this is not for me.
That was kind of restricting your talent?
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, it was just not. It was just not good enough for me. It wasn't
the place that you would like to.
Yeah, I wasn't getting the satisfaction I was looking for.
Right.
But the great experience I gained from that was I worked with people who were not very educated. So managing people who are coming from the lower income strata is a totally different ball game. How to motivate them, how to get work done through them. So that was a great experience. But other than that, it was time for me to move on. And but it was difficult because unlike in the Western countries, it really doesn't matter what you have studied. What really matters is what you want to do.
I think that's one mindset that we were born with, and I think it's our set of generation or your set of generation kind of changed it. It's not important that what you study is what you get as a career.
Yes.
You can always divert away from it.
Yes, but the challenge is that if you decide to do that in Pakistan, you go through a lot of ups and downs, actually many downs, which is what I went through. Because since I was an engineer, so anytime I wanted to explore a different opportunity, let's say marketing, let's say something else, it was like, you're an engineer, how can you do this? So I almost had to start at the bottom when I left my engineering job. But it was a lot of fun. I sold credit cards. I remember I was based in London. I sold those little toys when it was snowing. But it was satisfactory because that is what appealed to me. The challenge was how to talk to people, how to convince them on your idea. So it was a great learning experience.
So was that the learning experience that must have created your motivation towards it?
Yes, because what happens is when you're in sales, it's not what your product is like. It's what you have to offer yourself as a person. And that's where I think your personality develops. To face a lot of no's, to face a lot of rejections, disappointments, and then figure out how someone actually likes your idea. And you say, wait a minute, this clicks. So then slowly and gradually you build on that. So that's what happened with me, I suppose.
Okay, you've worked in very different areas. Be it marketing, HR, training, organizational strategy at the moment. So what was your inspiration behind it all?
Okay.
Because moving in such varied areas is not an easy task.
Yes.
There's
yes.
a lot of thinking behind it.
Okay. Okay. I think my wife would disagree with the thinking part because she doesn't really think that I think a lot. But anyways, I'm glad you said that. Thinking is important. Yes, sure. But more than thinking, I think it's your intent. For example, someone like me, when I'm interested in something, I do find a way. And if there's something I'm not interested, it could be staring me in my face.
Right.
I wouldn't know what to do with it.
Agree.
So I think the key factor when you want to do a lot of different things is I think this is going to be a little controversial because we always talk about how focus is very important. I'm someone who gained some good focus only I think 7-8 years ago. Before that, it was more about the experience. Exploring. So my lack of focus gave me the advantage of not really worrying about what's going to happen in 20 years, 30 years, where I'm going, what I want to do.
Right.
So that helped me in that because I lacked focus. But with those experiences, what you gain is something really beautiful.
So is that your inspiration, the learning experience in itself?
Yes. Because, you talk about creativity, innovation, and getting lost, wondering. For that to happen, just focusing on one thing doesn't give you that. Because I've seen people, and they are very successful, who started their career in finance, and they reached major milestones. But if you talk to these people about anything else, their minds are blocked. Because they had focus and they were very good at it, they did achieve what they wanted to. But then when they want to get out of that area, it's very difficult for them. For me, not having focus worked out because I was more interested in the experience part.
So I guess jack of all trade applies on you?
Well, and master of none, I suppose.
I wouldn't go with the second line.
I don't know. I think not jack of all. At one point in your life, you do have to decide that if I try to do everything, I'll end up doing nothing.
But I guess it's also when you try doing a lot of things, there will be a point where you actually realize, okay, now this is one field that I think best matches me, and this is something I would want to pursue for the future, right?
Sure.
Now, there was also one point in your life where you became a full-time corporate trainer.
Yes.
And then you decided to quit, and then you again moved on to another track.
Yes.
What was the reason behind that?
Okay, I think corporate training was a wonderful experience. In many ways, I can say that was one of my true callings.